Raiders taking on the Bulldogs at GIO Stadium. No, folks, it's not 1994 when Mal Meninga was crashing over against the Doggies. This is 2025, and I get the sense the winner of this game are massive contenders. Both or either of these sides, I think Scope could be playing on grand final day.
Yeah, big time. I heard Mel speaking to Jimmy Smith throughout the week. He does that, his segment with Jimmy throughout the week, talking about it's been a long time since both the Bulldogs and potentially the Raiders have been, really competitive at the same time. Yep. So this is going to be a great occasion down there at GIO Stadium. I'd imagine they're going to pack it out. And, yeah, I can't wait. Matt Burton, big in for the Bulldogs. And then only just found out yesterday that Corey Horsburgh's not going to be a part of this game. So what the run-on side looks like, you think, Josh Papali'i will come into the starting lineup, but there have been occasions where Ricky's changed last minute, so we'll see what he ends up doing, come game time.
Alrighty, massive game. I will tell you this, Scope, that a lot of people are tipping the Bulldogs, despite the fact that the Raiders' strength is their pack. And for the Bulldogs, who are a gun side, there's no Satili Tupanua, there's no young Jack Todd, who's injured at the moment and will be injured for the rest of the year. I understand it was an ACL, I think it was. No Josh Curran, who's had a terrific season. He's out of the clash. And who else am I missing from the forward pack? There's another big out as well.
So Curran, Sam Hughes has been out all year. Tupanua,
Preston. Curran, Preston. No, Jacob Preston suspended.
Just got the 4 games.
So I'm keen on Canberra, who are chasing the box set. What I mean by that, Scopey. So when you think about the top 6 teams, they have beaten every other side in the top 6, bar one.
The Bulldogs,
The Bulldogs. If they get the Bulldogs, they get the box set. They are absolutely flying. You cannot be at this stage of the year, basically halfway through the year, knock off all of the top 6 and not be a major contender in this competition. So I think they're going to be in this up to their eyeballs, that is for sure. The big news, of course, Matt Burton, he comes back for the Bulldogs. And Corey Horsburgh, who... He was off last week with HIA. They thought he may be some chance, but they're erring on the side of caution. He is going to be out of this match. Josh Papali'i expected to come into the starting side in his absence. Hudson Young, 6 tries in his last 4 games at GIO Stadium, and he is on his way to a sky blue jumper. There is no doubt about that. GIO Stadium is sold out for the first time since Tootsie Croker. Tootsie Croker played his 300th game for the Canberra Raiders. Ricky Stewart spoke about today about not getting too far ahead of themselves with their great form at the moment. Here's Ricky Stewart.
They're not going to get too far ahead. We just approach it the same way we approached the last 9 games, to be honest, Caitlin. And so they're doing a good job with their preparation. We've had a short week this week. This will be our second session, so you got to back probably what you've done previously when you've got these short turnarounds and don't get to train a lot. So preparation's a really key ingredient physically at the moment after so much travel and only having the 1.5 sessions really.
That makes me nervous, right? So I remember when publicly Anthony Seibold came out and he said, we've played 5 games in 25 days, and he's sending that out in the universe, and sure enough, Manly put in a shocker. I don't like when coaches publicly put out a little out for the players. All the travel. In saying that, I'm tipping the Raiders. But
he's the king of mind games too, though, isn't he? Like, it's almost like he's probably the opposite. Like, I'll give you an excuse so you use it and then see what happens. You know, like he strikes me as that sort of guy. Geez, that's such a good form line you talked about there, though, Shug. Like, normally when you get to this time of the year, there's doubts around top 4 teams because they haven't got the job done.
Yep.
It's they keep knocking off the teams at the bottom half of the ladder. For the Raiders to be playing like they are, where they are on the ladder, and the opposition and the opponents that they've been able to beat. That's a great sign for them moving forward. And we talked about, teams being affected, around Origin. Horsburgh's a chance. Huddy Young's a chance. Who else? Like, they're going to have the full deck of cards.
Yeah,
when everyone else is having ins and outs and a little bit fatigued. And even if they do play, they're banged up on a Saturday afternoon once they've just played on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So, huge advantage for the Raiders right now with the position they're in.
Joe Tarpany's got a big case for one of the best forwards in the comp, in the world, no doubt about that. But on the box set, so they've knocked off the Warriors, they've knocked off the Storm, they've knocked off the Broncos, they've knocked off the Sharks. they are in rare air at the moment. They've got the Bulldogs in front of them, who have got them by 34. So if they win by 18, the Raiders, they lead the competition after 10 rounds. So that
and
is...
even the Manly game, Shug. Remember that? Remember when Horsburgh got sent off for 10 minutes and that Manly piled on 3 or 4 tries, and it was a real outlier game. You sort of just threw that one out straight away. So great form, mate. Yeah, the West Tigers are thereabouts, and if they can knock the Bulldogs off, not only cementing a top 4 spot, but they can find themselves in a genuine race this early in the season to see if they can wrap up or go a proper threat for the minor premiership.
Dragons with a 0 points differential, but they sit in 3rd position. They're flying. Dragons play their 150th game at SEN Stadium, and it is raining hyphens in this game. I love what they did there. So Coach Webster, he was concerned because, they lost Aden Fanua-Blake last year. And they're without James Fisher-Harris at the moment, but Dallin Waitenis-Lesnick comes into the side. For the Dragons, they've got this young Loco Pacifici Tonga. He's going to join the side. Of course, last week they included into the side, who had a mixed game, I thought. Very good at times, and at other times it was a big jump to first grade, like in King Tongia. Yep. But this is a massive game scope.
Yeah, I like what Webby's doing with the Warriors at the moment, Shug. And I felt, was it last year or the year before that that Dallin Waitenis-Lesniak went over for 3 of the best? I think it was down there at Wollongong. So it's not like it's been one of those places. It's been hard to play for opposition teams, but with recent history and the Warriors having some joy over there, I'm on the Warriors in this one. Yeah, I like what he's doing, and the way that Metcalf and I reckon Chanel Harris-Tavita has been one of the least talked about players that's in really good nick this year. He's just doing a really good job. Metcalf's getting all the praise. Egan's getting the praise. Mitchie Barnett, Aaron Clark, but Harris-Tavita's doing a great job for the Warriors.
Is Chanel Harris-Tavita the best defending half in the comp?
Oh, he can hit you.
Oh, can't he hit?
I think he got... Who did he get last week? Who did they play last week?
He's hitting someone every week.
Someone from the Cowboys. He got a back rower. I'm pretty sure he got a back row. It's escaping me now. It might have been the week before, but he's got a good highlights. He's probably not the craftiest or most creative half, but physically, I think that's why Webby picks him every week, because he knows that he's just going to solidify that left edge and just be a good Robin for Metcalf.
I went away last weekend with Kyle Stanley, great fella, Kyle. And great career. He had 5 knee reconstructions, 3 on one knee, 2 on the other. Great fella. But he heads up a lot of the recruitment and drives the youngsters there at the Dragons. He is so pumped for Loco Pacifici Tonga. So looking forward to that. Cowboys and the Panthers. This is a funny game because the Panthers yet to go back-to-back, Scopey. They've had their wins, but they have not yet gone back-to-back. But they welcome back Brian To'o and Mitch Kenny along with Brad Schneider. Brian To'o hasn't played since round 5. Cowboys without Ruben Cotter.
And Jason Tomalai
as
well.
He's out
late
too
scratchy.
now.
Yep. Believe it or not, it's been so hard to tip this year. One of the teams that I've found on most weeks has done a good job. The opposite. I've done all right at finding when the Panthers were going to get beaten, and then had them last week to beat the Broncos. I think they'll go up to Queensland and continue the form because of the outs. Ruben Cotter 2-week suspension. Jason Tomalolo, when he was missing for the first 2 weeks, they were just missing a presence through the middle. So since he's been back, they've been trending upwards. They had a disappointing loss to the Warriors last week, but I reckon he's going to be a huge out. He was starting to get back to the form of 2 or 3 years ago. Like, not the stints weren't as long, but it was a quality 50 minutes, whereas you remember the 200-metre games in 70 minutes. He's not that anymore at this point in his career, but geez, he was punching out a good 50, so huge out, and I'm going to go the Panthers. Yeah,
Kai O'Donnell is a man that comes in to the 17 there. You mentioned the Taumalolo stats.
You were on the Cowboys. Have I talked you out of the Cowboys?
Well, they've won 4 of the last 6. The thing that concerns me for Penrith is, and concerns me with every team that is, twice on the road. So they've got to go to Brisbane and back, then up to Townsville. It's very, very tricky. But in saying that, they're the team who can get it done. Up next, we'll talk about the Bunnies